And the Knicks with a big fourth quarter win this one, 89-80. Let's roll in some highlights. As you know, no love lost between these clubs as the cliche goes, and Smits and Ewing eye each other early.
All right, look at Larry Johnson going to work, and there you go. Johnson, Charles Oakley, this in the third quarter, pushing and shoving.
Don't mess with the oak tree.
And then they go to the face. That's going to be problems. All right, after that, Larry Johnson, the nice, strong post-up move over Charles Smith. Just muscles that one down, tied at 88 in the fourth quarter.
Goes to the left hand. And a loose ball foul on the Knicks. And Mason and Grant had some words. Foul called on Bonner.
Anthony Mason trying to be very aggressive, going to the offensive boards at every opportunity as Hubert Davis flipped this one a little bit early, but Mason with inside position trying to keep Horace Grant off, and Mason a tough customer to deal with in keeping off the offensive board.
Shooting from the field, he had 23 points later. Now look at this. Kenny Norman of the Clips, Jeff Turner of Orlando coming together, a few words exchanged, a few pushes, a few shoves, and, yeah, a couple of ejections. Now, the Magic led by 4 at the half. Third quarter, Tom Tolbert setting up Shaq.
Listen, it's a man's game.
Ernie Johnson in our Atlanta studio as we get ready for the tip. The Pacers and Pistons from the Palace. The NBA has handed down fines and suspensions for Saturday night's bout in Orlando, featuring Greg Kite of the Magic and Ronnie Cycli of Miami. It happened in the second quarter of the Magic's win over the Heat. Time running out in the first half. Shot goes up. Meantime, underneath, they're Kite and Cycli battling under the boards. Now, while everybody else heads back down the court, Kite and Cycli get into it. Next time they're seen, Kite is on top of Cycli down there amongst the shutterbugs. No serious damage done to either player until today. Kite was fined $7,500 for being the aggressor in the fight and suspended 2 games. Cycli got a $5,000 fine and a 1-game suspension. Half dozen other players were docked $500 for leaving the bench. Miami's Smith and Burton and Orlando's Skiles, Catledge Akers and Wiley.
Spud Webb wanting a piece of Jay Humphries in a big way and getting stopped by referee Jimmy Clark. Mitch Richmond getting rocked to sleep by Karl Malone. Latrell Sprewell with the fat move to the hole. Charles Barkley giving the Spurs fans in the expensive seats a little piece of his mind.
An offensive goaltending situation. 55-42, and now we got something going between McHale and Lister underneath. Well, you can't afford to lose either one of those, depending upon who you're rooting for. Technical foul called on whom? On Lister. Oh, boy. I didn't see what happened. It was a good foul by Charlie Chris in that situation because Archibald was coming right at him and he was going to get by him. The Bucks with only 1 team foul. Now you see Lister taking, now watch. Archibald swings at Lister and Lister gets a technical foul. Now you explain that to me. Archibald swung at Lister because when he came through, Archibald penetrated inside. Lister then took another foul on him and Archibald swung at him. Now we have 30 seconds in the half. And you can write this half off. Has not been a good one for Milwaukee.
In Game 2, the battle heated up, sending Xavier McDaniel on a rampage. A fired-up X-Man stepped forward, proving to be the difference in a lopsided Sonic win. The home court advantage has shifted in favor of the Supersonics. Game 3 from Seattle Center Coliseum. Next.
Back to Fat Lever. Lever has struggled today as well. Gets the first step, has the open shot, still can't hit.
Can't buy one.
He's 1 for 13 now. Adams cross-court pass to Johnson. And again, tempers flare. This time it's Shays and Xavier McDaniel. And they're going to call the foul, I believe, on McDaniel for the push.
Well, what Xavier's talking about is he got called for, as most times happens, you get called when you make the second blow. The guy that gets in the first net very seldom is seen.
New 24-second clock. Evans now, guarded by Chambers.
See the switch out front that time by Seattle. Worked on it yesterday in practice. They're doing a good job with it.
McDaniel with a rebound.
So you can see what a great game Seattle's playing. 35 and 6.
McKee with a power move. Hanslick wanted the foul call, didn't get it. Here today, too.
Here you go. Good cut again to the basket. Hanslick playing pretty good defense. I really felt that should have been an offensive foul. Hanslick has the right to that position on the floor. And obviously, Hanslick felt the same way. Look at that speed.
Adams carries it out of bounds. Now Chambers has a few words as Tempest begin to flare. Pat Lever walks away. Smart. As does Chambers. Got a 20-second timeout to talk things over, and that's a good call, too, to let tempers cool down a little bit. So far, it's been all Seattle. Another marvelous performance by the Sonics. Keep in mind...
Sluggish, they're the ones that are quicker right now.
Sellers. Lane Beer the rebound. Pistons can come within 3. There's Dantley, and he'll go to the line. You're going to have some tempers getting a little hot inside because the action is going to be inside the rest of the way. And Adrian Dantley, who did not score at all in the third period after leading the Pistons with 16 at the half, will go to the line.
Shays battling. English was going to the hoop with it and lost the handle. Shays blocked by Perkins. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Foul before the shot attempt, and Roy Tarpley checks back in for the Mavericks. Shays with a few comments. Donaldson will go to the bench, picking up his second personal.
The big fella Donaldson is just so strong, so heavy. He's one of the nicer people in our league. But when you play against him, you'd better be a man because he's there. You see the push? And when he pushes you, believe me, it's a big push.
You've been pushed.
Sounds like a good title for a movie.
Welcome to the Reebok Halftime Report. Boston Center Robert Parrish will be charged tomorrow with possession of marijuana. A drug-sniffing dog detected the marijuana in a Federal Express package addressed to Parrish. After obtaining a search warrant, police also found 5 ounces of marijuana at Parrish's home. Police say criminal charges will be filed Friday. Parrish and the Celtics have a game tomorrow night in Dallas. The Portland Trailblazers have suspended 2 players and fined 2 others for their involvement in a teenage sex scandal in Salt Lake City. Hours earlier, authorities said they would not press criminal charges. However, rookies Dave Johnson and Tracy Murray were fined and suspended for 3 games. And starter Jerome Kersey and rookie Reggie Smith were fined for breaking team rules and showing poor judgment. The NBA issued a statement tonight calling the players' conduct disturbing and said a decision would be made in the coming weeks on whether additional measures are necessary. Another disturbing incident involving Dennis Rodman. After a call from a concerned friend, police and team officials were summoned to the Palace at Auburn Hills, where at 6:30 this morning, Rodman was on the court for an unscheduled workout.
He called some people last night, and didn't sound good. One of his friends who he called then called, I guess he called the police. And he's gone with some people to seek counseling. And as I know, as of this minute, he's still there.
Rodman, who has been in the injured list with a calf injury, was expected to return Sunday.
Really can't get anything accomplished. Yeah, they can't run a break, and they're having a lot of trouble against the Selleck overplay. Just getting any continuity out of their basic offense.
Got a foul called on the Celtics. The foul is Richardson, and Richardson shoves Roby. Now Truck Robinson is over. Richardson keeps shoving Roby.
Well, when you're getting embarrassed on the floor, you kind of look for someone to take out your frustrations on. But I'll tell you, it's hard to say. I don't know how tough a kid Grunfeld is.
It's a punch here. All right, there's Bradley and Grunfeld up to the right-hand side of your screen. Now they're shoving
each other. Bradley lifts his hands up as they go out of the picture.
I don't know if we're going to see the punch here. Whoa, you see that?
No, I didn't.
I think if they can run it back a little bit. It seemed as though his head kind of snapped. I don't know if we didn't see Grunfeld's initial punch in it, but anyway. takes a few steps. And now he and Roby go at it. And Roby is livid.
Oh, boy, that's not a wise move.
He threw the ball at Roby and then started taking punches at him. And ML is trying to calm him down, and so is Hubie Brown. Well, you could see Michael Ray Richardson. Let's take
another look at it if we can. I don't think there's any question Michael Ray was fouled. You know,
he was fouled.
Again, we'll get into intent and how Hillier is coming through the middle. He seems to have a step on Henderson. Well,
he caught him with an elbow.
He got him. Yeah, he got him good.
Hit him with an elbow.
The reaction then was not unwanted.
Ladies and gentlemen, a personal foul has been charged against Rick Roby.
There's another look at it.
Yeah. Has been charged against Michael Ray Richardson.
Richardson's out of the game for a punching foul, and now they're going at it. And Grunfeld is in it. They're right out in front of us, and this is going to turn into something very bad if they don't get the police out here very quickly.
Hubie Brown doing the right thing.
Richardson has been thrown out of the game for punching Roby. Roby was called for a personal foul. Here comes again. Now, here's what instigated the whole thing. Richardson through the middle, catches an elbow from
Roby went after him.
All right, now, watch. Richardson's going to throw the ball at him and then take a punch at him. There's the ball, and here comes a right hand. And then Roby is going to come back after him, and Webster is coming in the middle.
It looks like he landed a couple before tending to his nose where Roby got him.
It's a rivalry with a character all its own, often physical, always intense. The emotions right there on the surface. The numerous on-court confrontations leaving behind so many unforgettable moments.
Hand-checking stops, goes baseline.
I think deep down they respect us, but they just won't admit it.
Three years in a row in the playoff, losing to him was just a bad feeling.
All we want is what they have.
You know that they have 3 rings on their fingers. You know that they're trying to get a 4th. That's just something that it fuels something inside of you. I mean, it brings out the best because you're playing against the best.
For them not to be able to get over the hump, and I'm sure they look at us as a team that stands in their way to fame and glory, so it makes it a little bit more intense.
We want to overcome that obstacle. You know, there's nothing sweeter than, you know, going through them to get to where we want to, you know, be. You know, it still feels just as good, but that much more, you know, that much sweeter to go through them.
It's always personal. It's always personal.
I wouldn't necessarily call it bad blood, but I would say that there's a certain amount of tension amongst the two teams where it can create bad blood.
Sure, we spent the whole day sharpening up our elbows, you know, making sure that our hip smashes are going to be right on, and you know that that's our game, you know, but you know, I mean, this is 3 years of that, so I don't pay much attention to it anymore.
Football, not basketball, so we're trying to get that point across.
We do not have a dirty team. We don't teach it. We don't condone it.
There's a difference between muscle ball and basketball.
I think the Bulls have no respect for us at all, from their coach right on down through their team, and they have a right to do that. I mean, they got the rings.
We do respect this team, and we do fear this team, not so much from their standpoint as play, but of their rough style. Guys are always looking over their back to see where the next blow is coming from.
Last month, during New York's 15-game winning streak, Jackson implied the Knicks weren't as good as the streak might suggest because it came against weak competition.
You got to look at the teams that we played, I guess, through that streak. I think they were a part of it. So I guess he's calling his own team weak.
Phil is smarter than everybody else. He really is. And so he always, you know, is got some very cute psychological statement that's going to open up people's minds.
I feel that this year that has not been the main focus of our team this year, is the Knicks. And I don't know what that spells for the playoffs. It's kind of interesting whether we're not going to be there in the finals against them, or they're not going to be there against us. Something, you know, just is a little bit different about this rivalry this time.
3 and 4 to the left. Rudd crashed back down inside. He can hit the glass with authority. He and Robinson down. I think Robinsen's trying to cool him off. I think Robinson wrapped up his arms and said, hold on, and that's exactly what it was.
And that's a very smart play by a big guy like Robinson. There was contact. Rudd has a tendency to give the elbow. Robinson held it so that he wouldn't get hit on the play, so Rudd wouldn't get ejected.
Brooks, look out, look out. And let's see if he's okay. He took a nasty spill.
He landed right on his shoulder. Right on his side. That would be a flagrant foul, I'm sure, and the ball out of bounds for the Rockets. Boy, he was way up in the air.
Well, he's hurt. He's trying to walk it off.
You'll see Harper come over and get him on his arm. Oh, unfortunately, Vaught was there because that broke the fall somewhat. And he is trying to figure out exactly where he is right now.
A timeout has been called here with 1:11 to go as they tend to Scott Brooks.
You'll see it right here even better, I think. There's the foul. As I say, Vaught was there. It kind of broke his fall. I think if Vaught was not there, it could have landed right on his head, on his neck area.
And while they tend to Scott Brooks, we'll take this timeout. Well, we're happy to report that Scott Brooks is all right and will be going to the free throw line. As that timeout was able to clear his head a little bit. He was a little foggy when he got up after that nasty spill.
Yeah, got up, almost fell back to the ground. Knocks that free throw down. That'll make him feel a lot better.
Well, I tell you what, when you're 5'11", 165 pounds in this league, you got to be tough.
You take a lot of chances every time you take the ball to the hole, and you'll see how high he gets up off the floor right here. And
boy, that really could have been a serious injury. He's very fortunate not to have gotten injured.
Looks worse every time.
But he's all right now. And he gets ahead as he heads to the Rockets bench. 1:11 to go.
On emotions quite a bit, the Chicago club, that is. So they 0-3, Michael Brown, Michael Jordan, Gene Banks. Oh, boy. Banks got away with a vicious elbow. I mean, he really took charge underneath. Now Milwaukee, side of the screen on ball pressing. No foul. No harm, no foul.
That's right. Well, you got to be a tough guy in this game.
That's right.
Hardaway inside to Horace Grant. He's in too low. Shays can't do anything about it. Shaquille with the putback, and Shays catches it in the mouth, but he also caught his fourth foul. No, they're going to call it on Marley.
His first third team.
That will be his first, the third team foul against the Suns.
Horace Grant goes up for the shot. Here's no one blocking off Shaquille O'Neal. And Shaq goes up strong, little elbow to the face of Danny Shays, but the foul had been committed before that happened.
Shaquille, first free throws of the night. Now, as you know, it's an adventure when he goes to the free throw line. He's shooting 56%.
It's easy, but winning on the road has proven to be a much tougher task.
The Clippers have a bright spot. Tom Chambers, but he feels he still has a lot to learn.
Everybody I go up against is has really good talent, and their the bodies are so big and they're physically strong. And the physical game, it's really tough. A lot of pushing and shoving, and you have to be a much stronger player in the pros than you did in college.
In game one of the semis, Seattle played rough and tough in hope of unraveling the Laker Express. But Magic Johnson is determined to prove that no one will take their title in the 80s.
Pacers doing a funky routine in their starting lineup runout.